and welcome to another awesome episode of Rub-a-Dub. I'll be your host. My name is Rob, and as always, I will talk to you about what is new in the news, what's going on, and more importantly, what is my commentary on it. Because without that, this wouldn't be a vlog. And this really is more a vlog than it is news show, because it's not always the top of the line news. It's usually the stuff that catches my eye and stuff I like. So I should really call this stuff Rob likes. But it sounds too much like a fellow YouTuber's former show, which would probably be cool. Either way, let's get started. Story number one is the new iPhone 4G. It has this artificial intelligence that they like to call Siri, and it's anti-abortion. Yes, who would have thought that Siri would be anti-abortion? In fact, according to recent reports in the New York Times, Siri is a great tool that mixes humor and sarcasm in responding to questions, and is another example of how your company is on the cutting edge of demonstrating how technology can transform the way we share the access information. Thus, it is disappointing to read that a tool like Siri is missing the mark when it comes to providing information about such personal health issues as abortion and contraception. In fact, according to the BBC, Siri has been known to fail on locating nearby abortion clinics in New York City, and sometimes recommends pregnancy advice instead of an abortion clinic. And they couldn't find a single answer what plan B was. It couldn't understand what it was. Instead of offering Google results, result page as an option instead. But there is hope, because if anyone's read a book called I, Robot or seen the movie I, Robot, I wish I knew the author off the top of my head, but there were rules when it came to artificial intelligence, and maybe they applied these same rules here with Siri. And I think rule number 2 or 3 was no single robot will harm any human. So maybe this robot is just following what it's been programmed to do from the very beginning. Interesting stuff. Or maybe this is just an oversight and a glitch in Siri. That's also a possibility. Either way, I will keep you posted, because, no offense, I find this new Siri interesting and at the same time very scary, because it's kind of like the prehistoric version of having a robot for your assistant at your every command. And it would be pretty cool to have one. I gotta admit, I think everyone could use one. My room is never ever that clean. But you gotta admit, it's messy. Yeah, that's all you gotta admit. Either way, back to the news stories. Number two is I wrote these down just so I don't get lost. The new YouTube. Yeah, I liked it, I have to admit. For the first 30 seconds, I kind of just miss turning on YouTube and seeing a bunch of possible people that have cool stuff on it. Instead, I see a very sleek and, well, maybe it's different for people that don't have an actual page or a show on YouTube, but I found a very sleek way of organized everything that I would probably be interested in, and anything that's important to my channel. Uh, and a huge top of the headline, really at the top of the page, I should say, not headline. This is an unedited show. But at the top of the page is a huge advertisement. Always was an advertisement, but it just looks bigger, a lot bigger. And I gotta admit, all in all, I do like it, but I liked it a hell of a lot more when I first saw it, and then slowly and slowly I began to miss it. There should be an option actually just to click on it and you can just jump back. But ultimately, the powers that be, which is YouTube, I can't really say anything bad about it. They might not allow my show to air. But that's paranoid thinking. Not a good thought at all. Story number 3, and kind of just a wrap up of everything else I wrote down. If you've listened to Drake's new album, which I haven't, I've listened to a couple of his songs, but he starts talking about a saying that's been around for ages. A very old English saying called "You only live once," and he kind of abbreviates it, puts it in an acronym, and he calls it YOLO. Everyone's talking about it. It's a new craze. Just if you're not hip like me, new craze, YOLO. I've started to know I was unhip when my fashion sense doesn't really tend to match everyone else, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, I still consider myself hip, because I don't know. But back to Drake. Drake is the new Cameron. He is basically making people do things just because he does it, and it's hip. Like the pink shirts. Remember, like 2, 3 years ago, everyone was wearing like pink shirts, big collar, not really, but pink shirts, and a lot of people were wearing them. Cameron started that, and then more recently, everyone was saying like no homo, and that people were just overkilling it. Like everything they would say, like I like your shirt, no homo though, or man, those jeans look good, no homo, or man, I'm hungry for a hot dog, no homo though, like just everything was like overkill. But that's about it. That's all I've been thinking about. Yeah, we'll keep it at that. You've been doing it with the best, and keep on rocking in the free world while it's still free.